Hello and welcome to this week's episode of The Effects Loop. I am your host, Byrne. This week we're going to do something, I wouldn't say different, but a little bit different. Instead of doing a straight up, review of my new KATANA Artist Mach 2 head and cabinet, the WAZA cab with the two G12W speakers, WAZA's greenback speakers. Instead of doing a straight up review of it, I think it would be more fun if I showed you how I use the amp and what I like about it and how I when I just plug into play in my house and what's cool about it and what I like about it, and kind of demonstrate that with some playing and just show you the settings that I have the amp on in this particular situation. So I think that's what we're gonna do this week. So I loved my Fender. I had a Fender Tone Master Deluxe, and the one thing that I used to love to do with that Fender Tone Master was just a nice clean with, a little bit of slapback and maybe some reverb and this and that. So when getting rid of that amp, I needed to get something that I could get a decent clean out of, that I just wanted to play clean like that I could. So this is how I've got my KATANA Artist head and cab and my pedals. This is how I got it set up. I'm actually using the GAFC-X foot switch for this, which is separate. You do have to buy it separately. I'm using the foot switch with it, and I have it set up so that way, I set it up. I'll take some pictures of the stuff here so get a nice clean out of it. And this is what I got, and I think I'm pretty happy with it, to be honest with you. So I have this set up so that way I can, what I did is, because I was going to sell my pedals, because honestly, with this particular amp, you can use just the amp and you really don't need external pedals. A lot of these external pedals that I've had, sound virtually identical as what comes in the amp. Like the phaser in the amp sounds really good, the chorus in the amp sounds really good. But what I thought about it, and I came up with a really cool idea, because it's good to have I like my pedal tuner. I set it up so that way, since I have a mod channel, an effects channel, and I've got my delay and my reverb coming from the amp, okay? So on my modulation channel, because here on my pedal board, I've got a chorus. Chorus anyway, and it's a nice sounding chorus. Honestly, it sounds almost identical to what's in the amp. The amp might be a little bit brighter sounding, but it really depends on how you EQ it, to be really honest with you. So instead, what I decided to do with the mod on my amp is I've got and I'm just using the panel. Let me state this flat out. I am just using the panel on this amp because that's the way I'm gonna handle it. So anyway, what I decided to do instead is, I've got a chorus here. So you know what? On my mod, let's set it up as a flange. And I've got my reverb on here. Actually, I have a delay and a reverb. I'll shut them off so you can hear what it sounds like without it. Then I have a reverb. It's a plate reverb. There's also a spring, but I actually like the plate. It's not bad. And then I've got it set on a slapback, like a very slight slapback, like a... And it sounds really good. Okay, so instead of using the phase, because on each one of these channels, if you're not familiar with these type of amps, on your mod section, you've got 3 effects. On your FX, you got 3 effects. On your boost, you've got 3 boosters. Delays, 3 delays. Reverbs, 3 reverbs. You can technically only use 1 at a time. So what's nice about this is this gives me, using the panel as a straight amp, I've got a chorus, a flange, 2 different kinds of boosts going on. Now I've got this phaser going on here, and in the FX section, instead of a phaser, what I've got in there, got a tremolo. So yeah, there's a lot of variations that you can do when it comes to this. But this is how I like to play it clean. I think it gives it a nice... Okay, so now what I'm gonna demonstrate to you, I kind of swapped my setup here and changed things. Now the way I've got this set up, for my distortion, basically. I'm running through the crunch channel right now because that's one of my favorite channels, and I'll show you flat out how I got this set up. I'm using this guitar because this guitar is a little bit more versatile. It is bassier, so I can demonstrate something that I can demonstrate because it's bassier, and I will show you that when I get to that point. I changed up some of the stuff on here. My basic settings that are in the amp itself, I changed a few of my... the reverb's the same. I've got it on the plate. I changed my delay to more of a kind of like a straight delay, like a short, I guess they call it. You know, typical short delay type thing. Kind of kicked the reverb down a little bit because it was a bit on the heavier side. The boost that I got going on here right now is a Klon style boost. So I'll just, I'm just going to play a little bit. I'm going to show you how this thing sounds. I'll take some pictures of the panel so you can see how I'm using it. But this is the crunch channel on the amp. And if I boost it with the crunch channel, that's the Klon style boost on the crunch channel, I really like the way that this particular built-in boost sounds on this amp. can boost it with the Ibanez Tube Screamer that I have hooked up. Which, it depends on what you're looking for. Sometimes I feel the flavor of the actual Tube Screamer direct gives it a bit more of a mid-forward punch. I think it would cut in a mix a lot better, like live with a band, and I think it sounds really good. So we're gonna go forward a little bit now. I'm gonna get into the, let's see, let's go to the brown channel. Give it a little bit more grit in the brown channel. Now, what I have noticed with the amp, like I said, if I use the built-in solo boost, the KATANA, actually sounds quite good. Sometimes it can be a little bit on the flubbier side, so I kind of like it with the... Sounds pretty good like that. And the reason why I like having this chorus here is because I can run my chorus in front of the amp, which puts my chorus before my my distortion. So if I do that, I get a really cool 80s kind of... Let's add the delay, the short delay. I got it pretty loud. Actually, oh wait, I'm sorry. I said I was on the brown channel. I was actually on the lead channel that whole time. So let's put it on the brown channel now and actually hear. The brown channel actually sounds... See, it's a little more scooped, actually. Sorry about that. Had it on the lead channel the whole time. But that's cool. You got a demonstration of what the lead channel sounds like, which I think sounds pretty good, actually. Has a different character to it. But like I said before, if I put this... With the brown channel, it's a little flubbier sounding, so it sounds nicer with this, I So yeah, so that's that stuff. Sounds pretty good as far as I'm concerned, but that's how I like to use this amp with the pedals and the setup that I have, and I think it works really good, and you can get a lot from it, you know? I'm on the brown channel now. You want to get yourself a nice Eddie Van Halen kind of thing. You can see how I have this all basically set up. I'll keep it on the brown channel, but let's put the this on. Put this, and it's like, this is like, I'm gonna get some ring here because it's kind of loud. But this is Eddie all the way. Ready? So yeah, if you're looking for a bit of Eddie there you go. It's a nice Eddie tone you can get out of the amp with the brown channel kind of cranked up there. It's got a really nice sound. There's a lot of different EQ options that you can do on this amp. For me, I think that sounds kind of the best. I'm gonna do a whole series of videos with this amp. Maybe we'll get into the Tone Studio. I have another video on the Tone Studio on the original Katana artist. I'll probably just do a new one, so this way we can, you know, take a look at it. I have an easier way of recording the actual image on the the screen now, so it's a little easier to read and that kind of business. But for me, right now, this amp has cured all gear acquisition syndrome that I could possibly have. It's just, I don't know, it's kind of a perfect setup for me. Like, I can use my pedals, I can mix it with the digital stuff in the amp, and it works really well. I can get some nice tones out of it. It just really sounds great. It's plenty freaking loud enough. I'm running it on 50 watt mode right now, and I got this thing probably on like 3, and it's freaking loud in this room. It's wearing my ears out. If you like this kind of content, like, subscribe, leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what you think about this kind of stuff. If you have ideas for videos, please let me know. I do SFX loop and the regular effects loop. It's kind of like a rotating schedule every other week. So if this week is the effects loop, next week will be the SFX loop. SFX loop is, you know, movie, physical media, cult stuff. It's, yeah. SFX, special effects loop, you know, it kind of works, it makes sense. But anyway, I hope you enjoy this content, I hope you like the video, and I'll see you next time.